Oddmost presents Community Networks. Join us as Mike from Oddmost Pizza highlights the amazing businesses and individuals in our communities, showcasing how they thrive together through networking and community involvement. On this week's episode, we highlight Jiffy Lube as James from their marketing team joins us and talks about how working with the community and networking has added another level of growth to their company.
You're just trying to run a business is one thing. If you're trying to grow a business, it's a whole different thing.
Animal, yeah.
You know, if you just sat back and said, you know what, I'm just going to run Jiffy Lube and just, focus on, front door to back door and take care of my customers, which is always the minimal in a way, but this the most important is to take care of everything that comes, that close to where you can take care of them. But for me, when you're trying to grow a company, you got to do what you're talking about. You got to go out in the Boys and Girls Club. You got to get your name more relevant. You got to start,
being a part of the community.
I am curious though with Jiffy Lube, because there's so many different independent owners in a way. How do you guys manage that? Like, how many locations do you?
We have 4 in Salem.
Okay, so you have all 4. So you actually have. We have all 4. We have 4 locations here that are all different franchise owners, but we're a collective group.
We're all one owner.
And so that's, that's nice. Because I was wondering how in a franchise system like that, how you handle people that are separate franchisees that may not have the same vision that you have.
So they get they reap all the rewards. Yeah. So we're the only Jiffy Lube that does what we do. Yeah. And that's because of me. My background is pretty extensive from doing a lot of prison time. So a long time ago, when I got out about 7-8 years ago, I knew I wanted to make a difference in my life and decide what I could do to be different in life. And luckily for me, God guided me to a direction to where I'm at now. And by having my passion and the owner that we have, he's really caring concerns. He loves giving and doing the things he does. But he's the owner and he does what he has to do in the office, so he never had a chance. But so I come out here and and we do a lot with the community based off of me hoping to give back for what I ruined when I was a kid. You know, and it's bled off now to where it's not just paying it back. It's actually it's a passion for us. It's we want to support the community that we're in, and fortunately for all the other Jiffy Lube owners, they reap the rewards. Like when I go to News 6, I don't know if you saw that one. When I was up at Quinn 6 News in Portland, and we're talking about the Jiffy Lube toy fundraiser the fundraisers that we were doing for Liberty House and Matt Miller's barbecue. We had to specifically make sure they knew, and I'm like, it's only in Salem. It's nowhere else. Like if you go to any other Jiffy Lube, you will not. They will like, why are you handing us a toy? You know what I mean? So there's a little extra legwork to make sure that people know exactly what Jiffy Lubes we're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's if a customer likes what we're doing and they wind up helping another owner out up the road just because they want to support, you're still supporting a local community and a local owner.
There's always going to be people that reap the benefits of your energy and your focus and stuff outside of your bubble.
Yeah, and that means you're doing good.
Yeah, hopefully you can make that kind of an impact. I mean, really that's why you're involved in the community the way you are, is because you're trying to make an impact that hopefully will have some residual effects and carry on.
Carry some waves.
Yeah, yep. So that's gonna just happen, I think, inherently when you are who you are.
Yeah.
And so, but I was just kind of curious because we have different franchise owners that we've all been together, but they can make independent decisions. They can do different things, and luckily for our company, we're pretty tight. So everything that we do, every store does, and so we can actually have a combined effort, as a whole. But you have people that are a little bit more passionate about doing it, or you have people that are a little bit more, it's easier for them, or some are more connected, or they're involved with groups that have a bigger impact. And so there's all these different things. And for us, I don't have a store. We have a store in Lancaster. That's our store, our corporate store. And we have a store in Canby. It's our corporate store. But I'm responsible for everybody. I look at it as like their success is my responsibility. I know they're in the locations doing what they do, but I provide basically the road for them to race on. And so I'm always working really hard on the whole versus the individual. So I get out to Lancaster like, hey, I recognize you, I think,
Yeah.
And they do. Colin, the manager there, has been with us for, he started when he was a little kid, and then he moved on, and then he came back and he's managed our location for probably about 4 years now. And so So yes, I know who I am. It's just funny though, because it's just different. You know, it's
Yeah.
a different level of connection to the community and things. And we've been doing a lot of different collaborations with different companies and things like that. Just because, like with you, you know, we really want to be able to do something because we want to add your community to our community
Yeah.
and our community to your community. And so, you talked about giving us discounts on oil changes and things like that. And I know there's a balance to that, but we want to be able to add value to what you do too. And so, we have our pizza boxes that we send out all over the place. For you to put something on top of our pizza boxes is something
We can give gift cards out.
It's easy, and for
That
us,
should
it's
be a
like
good idea.
we work with like the Salem Capitals. We put their schedule underneath it, or the Mavericks League when we were putting the schedule underneath for them, or the new Marion Berries is setting up, so we're going to do what we can to help them. And so we just go out there and do the best we possibly can. And when we're a little bit fatter, we can help a lot in more ways. But I handshakes are free. And that's how we tend to do mostly what we do. Because I think what's really funny is it's like Lancaster's got like 1,100 businesses. But I guarantee if you meet somebody in Lancaster, like after today, talking to you, every Jiffy Lube I go to, I'm like, hey, and so it's like, if you don't do that and you just advertise and market, there's a top of mind awareness.
And there's so much truth to that, because before I got this position where the community ambassador, fleet manager, all the titles that I have, one of the reasons why I got it is because Jiffy Lube was being left in the dust in the community. Like, who's Jiffy Lube? We weren't doing any actual marketing, as in on TV or paying for it. We weren't doing anything in the community itself to help support the community. We're locally owned 40 plus years, but who would know? You know what I mean? And I brought that up to the owner too, and I'm like, at the end of the day, you're so comfortable with what's been going on that it's time to,
you just become part of the landscape.
Exactly. And what's awesome is he'd sat back and he started thinking about it, and he's like, man, you're right. And he gave me the keys and said, let's see what happens, and it was just, it's just so awesome, because it's like you said, man, if you're just sitting there, you're being a nail in the wall. You might be holding the wall up, but you're not actually doing anything. You know what I mean? Because if you were just that one single nail, that wall's coming down. There's a whole team of you there. And we want to be a part of that team, and that team is the community itself. You know what I mean? Because without our people in the community, our businesses don't thrive. Because if they're not coming in buying pizzas, and they're not driving their cars to get it, then we're both sitting here stuck. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's just our whole goal at Jiffy Lube Salem Kaiser, is really just give back to the people that give to us. So
that's our big thing. It's this community. Take care of the community will take care of you.
Exactly.
I'm a real, we're a big believer in that. That's really kind of something that's been our marketing plan for 26 years.
Yeah.
Is just very simply, it's because for me, everybody likes different things.
We've had multiple
us,
individuals go from Jiffy Lube to Oddmos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I appreciate that.
Devin, I can't remember his name, but yeah, and back and forth.
Oh, I know who you're talking about too. He was actually in Kaiser the last time I saw him.
It's how I learned about Oddmos.
Yeah.
Is because of him working at both of our stores, and and that's once again goes back to that word of mouth.
It's neat though when you get people because we get a younger crowd. We used to get between 16 and 20 was pretty much our wheelhouse of the age of the kids that come through, and now it's more like 18 to 22, and we're in a pretty important piece of their lives. And so it's weird. It's like you see them at that age, and then they go do something else, and they come back, and you're like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I feel like an uncle that, hey, I haven't seen you for 10 years.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize you graduated high school.
Yeah, and for us, it's the kids that come in with their parents and getting the oil changes. Like we've watched them come in with their parents, to driving their parents' car, to getting their own car, to having their family. And me, since I've been with Jiffy Lube since 2006, I've been pretty fortunate to see that.
Yes, we opened up in '99, so it's been it takes some years to be there, but if you've been in since 2006.
It's that cool, like you said, it's like being the uncle. Well,
if you've been in there, with that long, I think what's interesting too, though, is in our industry with pizza, we see people once a week. You see people probably every other month.
No, it's 3 to 6 to 10 months.
Oh, it's that long?
Yeah.
I drive too much.
Yeah. When we first started, it was guaranteed every 3 months.
Yeah.
It was guaranteed that. When I first started, I should say. When Jiffy Lube first started, it was 3 months too. But times have definitely advanced in oil change. intervals. The shortest interval now on most cars is 5,000 miles, which is about 4.5 to 5.
Synthetics
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool for the consumer. It's also not cool for the consumer because in that particular model, obviously prices are going to go up because people have to keep the roofs open or the doors open. And in order to do that, if you're not coming in, every 3 months, obviously prices go up because things happen. So it is cool though because people, they get to go out longer, but it kind of does affect the whole.
It's got to change, even your marketing stuff because we do
Big time.
With our marketing, I'm always trying to add products that maybe will last 3 days. Like ice cream and stuff like that. They have a little bit here and then and try to get them to where we get them twice a week somehow, or we kind of base things upon like how many times a month, and like if you have customers once a month and you can make them go twice a month, and you've just doubled that. Those sales and stuff. But in your industry, it's interesting because you have to figure out ways that you stay in that loop and you're only communicating with so much. But, because I was thinking with Jiffy Lube, it's like for us, we kind of feel like celebrities because you touch people so often that you're like, hey, you bump into them Safeway and you're like, hi, this is a weird spot to be, but with you guys have such personal service as well that you get to kind of know you guys.
I agree with that.
Used to 3 months is different, but if it's
the problem with the
9
thing,
months to a year, that's really you have to make quite an impression to get that.
You really do, and the thing with that is you have to not only make a super impression, but you also have to make it worth them coming back.
Yeah,
because we're all the same price. We're all pouring oil, and if you don't know anything about cars, it's not like your palate. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't like that. I like that. I know because it's what it tastes like, right?
Yeah.
Well, people, they like for me, for instance, if you put.
I'm sorry. All I can see is you go here. Would you like to taste these 3 different oils?
You know what's funny is I do this when it's really bad. Like when a differential fluid is bad, you can smell it, right?
Yeah.
And I used to put it on my finger and see if a customer would smell my finger. Every once in a while, I'd get one. I just couldn't help
That's
it.
hilarious.
That is,
but you're right though. It's a different kind of product, different industry, because we have our conveyor belt pizza industry and stuff, and our crust styles and things like that people are partial to and all that. And that's where you're talking about the community, because for us, it's like. Take care of the community takes care of you. And so you find a customer that likes you just got to take care of them.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be that difficult. Sometimes there's challenges, but for the most part.
And they remember you.
And they do remember, And that's, like I said, at the end of the day with our industry, the goal is to keep them and be a part of your family, not your customer. Because when you're dealing with somebody where it's once a year or every 10 months, who do you talk to once a year, every 10 months? Your cousin? Maybe your sister, a family member, right? You're not. If you're not talking to a friend every 6 months or so, you're probably not going to talk to them unless you see them on Facebook, right?
I was wondering, with that marketing though, I think that really there's a couple things to that. One is a personal touch and all that stuff, but it's also the confidence in what you provide them too. Because if with a car, that's a pretty
extensive.
People look at their car and go, okay, as long as it's driving, I'm happy.
Period.
Your engine's going to be really happy with us, even though you don't understand what's working on the inside.
And it's so true. And people say that all the time too. It's like I don't even notice a difference, right? When you change my oil, and I'm like, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Our goal is that your car should feel exactly as it did the day it rolled out.
It's funny. But when you hit the gas on the freeway, you don't hear it. But at the backside of your car, it's like, and there you go.
Exactly.
You're happy. You just can't hear it. You're inside listening to
job. I promise you.
Led Zeppelin. You just keep doing that.
Exactly.
But I am so intrigued about marketing and with other industries and things like that. And it's mostly just trying to figure out the best way to communicate with your community and your customers and how you do that, and so I am fascinated by that. I think in the way we focus on that is a little bit different, because we were just talking about how with some of the third-party delivery systems and stuff, and now with online, it's like we used to answer every call, deal with every customer, deliver every pizza, so we introduce ourselves to the customer in a way in the beginning and also at the end, and so we really had a good relationship with that, and that's been our biggest struggle is to maintain that relationship when they order online, they don't even talk to us.
Yeah, you don't see anybody.
Get all your stuff done, and then when you deliver them, it may not even be our stores deliver to. It could be a third party.
Yeah,
And
some person does nothing to do with Oddmos.
yeah, and that's what's so hard is it's like, wow, we focus so hard on customer service. And that's the thing is it's like you have to get out there. And if that's the way that
the people want
whoever
it done,
that customer
that's how it is, yeah.
Some people are like, dude, I just want to go on my phone.
Yeah.
I want to hit a couple buttons. I want you guys to deliver my pizza, and I'm good.
It's the same when people come into our store, and we're like, hey, manufacturer recommends this. And they're like, I don't care. We're just going to do the oil. It's the cheapest in the barrel. And we're like, well, I mean, it's your car. We're not going to argue it. We're going to do exactly that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hope that you like the scenario.
See, this is where I would like to get into marketing stuff because I get that whole mindset. It's like, just keep it simple. I wonder how many customers, don't understand all the different little effects of 98%. Not doing certain things, and how difficult that is though, because, with money the way it is, it's tight like this, and the fact that they don't feel that immediate impact or that change, that, they have to have that faith that you guys are doing these things because it actually is better for them. That must be, that's a struggle.
It is the hardest thing to get to. So what I use to market to customers to get them to understand things, right? So for instance, I'd be like, you'll come in, you'll be like, hey, you got 80,000 miles on your car. Carfax says you got no history on your transmission service. We have no history on your transmission service. Your transmission fluid is darker than me. It's supposed to be pink. And they'd be like, oh, okay, well, how much is it? I'm like, well, it's $170. Oh, man, I can't afford that.
Yeah, and
I'm like, it's $170 for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's literally, how much do you pay for your cell phone bill a month?
Yeah,
on the average, it's about $120.
See, that's that immediate thing.
Exactly, though. And I'm like, but that's what I tell them. So at the end of the day, your cell phone just gives you valid entertainment. Your car is mandatory job. What's really funny about Jiffy Lube and Valvoline, right? So I kind of made the mistake the other day of saying State Farm and Farmers, right? Mm-hmm. And I felt kind of embarrassed, but I'm like, well, no offense, brother, but Farmers and Farmers, it's in the name, right?
Yeah.
And then, because I'm always complaining, I'm like, when people are like, oh, I went over to such and such store, and I'm like, that's Valvoline. You couldn't tell they were blue? We were black. It's like, that's a V, we're a J. And I'm like, people
You'd be
know.
amazed though. 26 years in business.
No, I know.
Over 1 million flyers a year we used to pass out. They get our name and they don't know. I know I've heard of you. I just have never been there. I'm like, really?
When you guys switched from primetime to Oddmos, I was very confused.
But I could go down the street in just like a random area and probably ask 25 people, and I guarantee at least 8 or 9 of them had never even been there, have heard of it.
That's the same thing with you.
And I'm like, 26 years, 1 million flyers, TV, billboards, all that stuff. So it's kind of weird how people just, they have their own lives.
40 years here in Salem.
Yeah.
And we were the only oil change place in Kaiser and Salem.
Well, that's what we were talking about, how when you meet somebody, that's the difference in the impact.
Yep.
So when you take the time to get out in the community, that's actually the whole point.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, 40 years, 26 years.
Yeah.
That you think that, my God, I'm everywhere.
Well, and that's like I was telling the owner the other day, when I was growing up here in this town, it was Jiffy Lube. Yeah. Like Jiffy Lube was at the schools. Jiffy Lube was sponsoring the Blazers. Yeah. What happened? Like, why did we not become a part of the community no more? How are we? We are the original Quick Lubes. You know what I mean?
What's really nice about that too, though, is you've got that platform, though. You can just dust it off, clean it up,
and we did.
And that's really kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, it is nice that it's there already. I didn't have to put any new work. It's just like, hey, we're here. By the way, we're local. By the way. If you need us,
it's like a rolling start.
Yeah, it is nice. It is a lot nicer than having to start from fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because who knows Oddmos Pizza? I go somewhere else like, we're opening up an Oddmos Pizza. We're like, huh?
But the name Oddmos, it sticks. It resonates. Like for instance, when she was talking about Primetime Pizza, and I don't remember it at all.
We changed the name 5 years into the company, and so in 2005 or 2004, we started that process. And the whole point was, or the whole reason was, because one of our primary goals was for our management to become into franchisees. We wanted to build a good team, keep good people, live their lives and stuff. So the Primetime thing was like, we went to trademark the name, and it's just too common, so we couldn't trademark it. You can't sell something you don't own.
Yeah. Most of our major advertising now is done off of me and my ideas of marketing from all of our, I call it B2B, which is business to business. It's, our cross-promoting. We don't want your money. We want you to advertise with us.
Yeah, use our strengths.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like our free gift cards, our $25 gift cards. They used to be coupons, but I turned them into real gift cards. So no purchase necessary. Come on in, just get a free set of wiper blades. If you don't need an oil change, check us out.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. So
yeah.
you and I are parallel when it comes to that kind of thinking. I just really want to get them in the door.
Exactly, and see, I believe in giving something to get something, and in our industry, you know, it's literally the oil is the loss lead.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy because it's what's cost us the most. But what are they there for? The oil change. You know, we sell tires. We do suspension. We're ASE certified. We are literally the cheapest in town for all name brand tires. But nobody comes to Jiffy Lube for the tires. They, you know what I mean? They come for their oil change, and I'm like, well, let's give that away. Yeah. Give away what they came for. And let's show them what else we can do.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. I mean, this tells you how I am and stuff like that. But yeah, all the services you guys have, I probably don't even.
Yeah, a lot of the services too that we do now, from like body repairs to carpet cleaning to.
You guys do body repairs?
Yeah, I implemented all these services into our. Yeah. Not all our stores do. State Lancaster and Kaiser.
You have to have the materials and all that. I mean,
no, it's the guys. Because every store has a different strength, you know what I mean? So we all can do brakes and tires, sense. But like, for instance, my State and Lancaster store, which is the ones that I trained, go over there and find something they can't do. And next thing you know, they're doing body work, they're doing paint jobs, they're doing interior work, they're doing seat belts. So now, like, I pulled the Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I got all of their cars just to our stores, strictly to our stores, and we do all their stuff. Everything from their tires to their brakes.
That's awesome. I think that really you're also teaching a trade that is really going to be beneficial in so many ways. So it's not just about changing oil.
Well, no, we do ASE certification for these guys too. We'll pay for it.
I just think that's important to let everybody know, which is why you're out there in the community telling everybody and stuff. But
if you ever want to tour in the stores, take you in the pit, kind of see what we're doing, show you what we do, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I tell you this, the one thing we do pride ourselves on is being very clairvoyant with our customers. We're not, if you want to get out of your car and see what we're doing, we want you to, actually. I prefer it. When I'm recommending something, I want you to want to see it, because my goal as a marketer, as a manager, fleet manager, as the community ambassador, my goal is not just to get you as my customer, as my Jiffy Lube family member, but to get you to understand why we're doing this, to give you more knowledge, so
confidence.
So when you're coming in, you know exactly what you're getting on your car. And that's the one thing that I talk to my customer service reps about. When you're over here talking to them and you're essentially selling them on what they need, explain to them why. Don't just be a good salesman.
I mean, we do a lot of our marketing in tiers. We want somebody that's going to have enough of an experience that they're going to share it.
Yep.
And then have enough of an experience to see how far down that goes. Because like we help with a golf tournament and they're like, oh my God, they're talking about it on Monday in the water cooler. So it's all tiers. Like, how can we affect people at a different level?
Yeah. So we just started the, Garden Services. They have people with special needs and all that. We just started our internship with them. Okay. So Garden actually pays them. Garden takes care of them. But we are allowing these individuals to come work in our stores to build confidence and skills in themselves. So hopefully that's something they might want to do. They can go out and actually say, yes, I want to do this. So that's kind of goes back to, that different tiers of helping in the community and marketing.
No,
in a
that's
sense.
great. So, we've actually, one of our supervisors from way back in the day is in one of the management in the Garden. So
cool. So
but we've had a couple of employees that have worked through Garden with us as well. It's just, so what you're doing is off. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that these individuals really do find themselves. My whole mission for them is hopefully they can come and find themselves and be able to grow.
Yeah.
So, and be more confident in their life.
I think what you're doing has got multiple levels, teaching your crew how to do some of the other things that, even Jiffy Lube's not really known for.
Yeah, like carpet cleaning.
Yeah. But to be able to teach them those kinds, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I always talk to my kids about, you have to kind of grow your circle. And the only way you grow your circle is by getting out there and learning stuff you don't know how to do. And so being able to provide that growth for people, it's pretty amazing.
Stay tuned for our next episode of Oddmo's Community Networks. We're thrilled to feature Michelle Ashley of Michelle Ashley Custom Cakes, diving into her impactful community work and unveiling an exciting collaboration with Oddmo's. You won't want to miss it. Catch you next week.